If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Yesterday, I was on the live feed, and it was probably one of the best live feeds that I've ever had. Lots of good questions and discussions about the lifestyle, the nomadic lifestyle. And if you ever want to join one of our live feeds, they're 7 o'clock Eastern every Wednesday. They're a lot of fun. But in yesterday's live feed, a couple questions I wanted to address with everybody that may not be interested in the live feed. But one of them was, we were talking about a video I've made several times that I am concerned about how fast the nomadic lifestyle is growing and how fast I am seeing the National Forest campgrounds and dispersed camping in the National Forest fill up. Now, I think there's a misunderstanding. You can disperse camp in National Forest really easily in a tent, but there are a lot of places that you can camp in your RV van in the National Forest for 14 days, or whatever the rules are. Each National Forest is different on their rules. But my concern is that the National Forest, the BLMs are really starting to run into deficits, and with all the influx of people coming out here. So I've suggested many times that I have this theory that eventually people are going to have to start to pay to stay in the National Forest, the BLMs. And what I suspect is going to happen is something like the national parks do, which is they got this America Beautiful pass. And so each year, I'm not sure the specifics, that I've never bought one, but I think it's like every year you spend a few $100 or $100, $150 for this pass, and you can go all the national parks. It's either at a reduced rate or a free rate. Now remember, the BLM is ran by the same department as the national parks. So the Department of Interior runs the national parks and runs the BLMs. The National Forest is actually a separate entity ran by the Department of Agriculture. So in my opinion, it would actually be more likely that the BLMs would start charging, because the department itself is already charging for national parks, if that makes any sense. There are a lot of people that believe that the BLMs will never charge to stay in the BLMs. And so let's just assume for a minute that the BLMs don't start charging. National Forests and national parks do charge, but the BLMs stay free. So they're suggesting that to overcome my dilemma about being a nomad and no place to camp anymore, if they start charging, they say, well, come out west. There's all kinds of camping out here. Look, here's the thing. I'm a nomad, and the definition of a nomad is wanderer, someone who wanders. And I want to continue to wander. So if I have to go out to the desert to live, then I think I would just go buy a house in the desert in Arizona. I mean, why would I want to live in a car in Arizona if I'm not going to wander anymore? If I'm not going to be a nomad, I'm just going to live in my car out in the BLMs. I don't see the point in that. Now, this next question they ask a lot: when am I going to upgrade to a manufactured camper? Right now, we live in a homemade truck camper. I absolutely love my truck camper for many reasons. It's very lightweight. It's 250 pounds. So my little 4-cylinder engine can pull it, and we get 19 miles a gallon with all the stuff that we have. Normally the truck gets about 26, now it gets 19. Then another reason I really like it is it's easy to fix, cheap to fix. We just had probably our most major repair that we had to do on the camper. The skin sealant started to flake off, so we had to figure out something else. And so we bought corrugated plastic and put siding all around it with this corrugated plastic. And they just assume that the camper gets completely destroyed. We have to completely rebuild it. And we're going to be able to rebuild it for $700. I mean, you can't beat those kind of prices. It takes me 2 weeks to build the things. If we get tired of this lifestyle and we want to move into a brick and stick, I can take the camper off of it and I still have a truck. Huge advantage over buying a Class C. If I ever went out and traded the truck, which is what folks are suggesting, trade in the truck and get a Class C, spend a few $1,000s. Well, first of all, our costs would go up dramatically. Gas prices would go up, maintenance costs would go up. I I mean, to replace, you know, the tires on a Class C, you know, you got 6 tires instead of 4 tires. You know, if we ever decide to get out of this lifestyle, now I'm stuck with a Class C instead of a pickup truck. The other thing is I see a lot of maintenance issues with manufactured RVs. When you have a brand new RV, you're gonna want to take it in to get it fixed. I watched this one YouTube channel for a while, and he bought a brand new 5th wheel. Well, within a few months, he started having problems with the 5th wheel, so he took it into the shop to get it repaired. It took them 6 months to repair it. They had to live in a hotel for those 6 months. The other thing is there's a lot of things in the Class C, you know, how they built them, that I don't like. For example, the water heater. I think it's got a 6-gallon water heater. I would immediately take that out and put in an on-demand water heater like we have now. The electric system, I'm not overly impressed with how they do DC electric in a Class C. I would want something more primitive like I have, so it's easy to fix. If you buy a brand new RV, you know, you got to weigh out, do you want to sit there and destroy your brand new RV and make it where it's not going to resale very high by tearing all these original parts out and putting in different parts? Now, there is a few advantages, obviously, to having a Class C. You know, it's going to be roomier, it's going to be easier to get in and out of. Then I'll be able to go into RV parks, which I can't go into a lot of RV parks now because of the 10-year rule. Well, with my homemade truck camper, you know, RV parks aren't going to let me, you know, come in there and camp. So eventually, if we stick with this lifestyle, I would think for another 10 years, I think eventually we would have to upgrade to a Class C, just because, you know, we're getting older and it's getting more difficult to climb around in. If we continue to do this lifestyle, that's the big if. You know, going back to the original subject, you know, if they start closing down a bunch of campgrounds, thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.